Shubor nakaslem jong unongsan Hima.
Unong yalam kalyang persya u Dr. Mukul Sangma henne kasni ulaay ka khubor ya ki kertong baper ki bala job ya ka jing job ha ka ni election MDC badang shudep. Na kalyang u Dr. Mukul Sangma uloong baki tu ki Sengsain Pyrthei ki basharem baki dei ban Pyrkhat bha ya ka daw bat bandon ka jing dei ka Ajan Biang bat ki Paidbah. Habaya day berkajing syarem jong ka BJP ber ka Kongres na kalyang u Dr. Mukul uloong ba ka badan kamtam kadai ban keli na kitu kinong yalam kani kadai kasin ka baningkong ba ka Kongres ka claim job ha ka ki HADC uloong kani kadai ka por ba kinong yalam jong kitu ki Sengsain Pyrthei bat penken mau yaki ya ka ka ba ki claim le na ka banta ka jilla. Habaya day berkajing keo ka jilla uloong ba POE ya kajing don ki surok bat ki wei ki kampen roy henry lada pishim keliang na ki wei na kapor sya kapor kan poi kapor ba phimla shu ban pen phai kani kan bu jing e.
For me, it is nothing surprising. It was palpable, it was foreseeable, and it is just a reflection of the pulse of the people. You see, any election, the outcome is a reflection of what the people are speaking. People have spoken, you have seen it, and it's before us.
Well, do you see that because
And I take this opportunity and privilege to congratulate all the parties who have at least ensured the victory of their respective candidates. And also I would like to convey my something from my heart that all those parties who have drawn blank, they should do more homework and work harder and reconnect with the people.
well, rise of VPP, we have seen that parties like BJP Congress has drawn nil, and in fact the vote share of NPP was they got only 4 seats. That is also not satisfactory performance. So, do you think that rise of VPP is a warning bell for these parties?
You see, you have to ask this question. This question must be directed towards the leaders of these parties. Yeah? But at the same time, I think the most important message that this election provides for everybody, the citizens, the leaders, not just for the people of the state of Meghalaya, but for all across the region and across the nation, is that the political dynamics are changing. And that's why you see for the first time in the history of Congress drawing a blank and other parties drawing a blank. But the most important part is that you are talking about district council election when the government of the day is in power. There is a government. It is not an election where you have the simultaneous election of the KHDC and the assembly election. This is specifically election revolving around the constitution of the House in respect of both the ADCs. Congress drawing blank, but most important part is the party in power with all everything under their command. A political party which has also demonstrated their usual modus operandi, wherein they have landed up abusing authorities, abusing their power during the time of election to ensure the victory of their own constituency, including various powers. You name them, you know them. In spite of that, they have drawn only 4. That's a bigger question. You have to ask them why they have drawn this kind of, it's almost like a blank, So this is something which should wake up the leaders of those political parties which is in the government and remind them of their failure in responding to their call of duty pertaining to various challenges confronting the people, confronting the state, particularly the youth. Today, as you look at and analyze the outcome of the election, you will see that majority of the votes which gravitated towards VPP are the youth. lack of employment. When I say lack of employment, it is a challenge for every government. For successive government, it will always remain as a challenge, creating job opportunities, providing spaces for employment for all the aspiring job seekers. But what is important is the government of the day doesn't even bother to fill up the vacancies, fill up the existing vacancies which are vacancies due to retirement, due to promotion, or due to sometimes a premature demise of the employees. Thousands of government jobs left unfilled, Recruitment process. Last time we had a State Security Commission meeting. So in the meeting collectively decided that the whole recruitment to fill up the vacancies in police department must be completed by March. Is it going to be completed by March? That is the decision, which can be taken as an assurance for the commission. So the failure after failure, these are something which revolves around just that usual tendency, like a reflex reaction to when issues are brought before and the authorities are confronted, the policymakers are confronted, the CM is confronted with the issue. They're very prompt in replying, giving you hope, but then at the same time, the actions are just contrary to what is the expected outcome of the promises. Now, forget about creation of new jobs. Do you find creation of new jobs? You're talking about promotion of entrepreneurship. Our people have, to a great extent, we must congratulate all those budding entrepreneurs who are exploring the possibilities given the potentiality that the state provides, the region provides. We must understand that Meghalaya, despite being a small state, you are privileged to have access to more than 1 billion population for market. That's the strength that we have. That's the advantage. So, therefore, the kind of football match, there are different players, different star players, and also when somebody is playing in the playground, the best player will be drawing the attention. But when other players also enter, then they will also draw the same attention. I put it that way.
On top of the 10 million.
You look at the momentum of growth and prosperity. You look at the overall the growth of the state in the preceding last almost 10 plus years, almost close to 15 years. You have seen, the steady increase in growth, and we have been able to sustain. Now, when you plant a tree, the most difficult time is to ensure its germination and upbringing of the plant. Once the plant bears a fruit, then you should only take care of the plant. You should just ensure that the manures, fertilizers are replenished so that the plant doesn't end up producing less. So replenishment. Now, how do you replenish? Do you borrow the fertilizer from others? Next time when you borrow from all the neighbors available, then next time, subsequent to your borrowing, when you fail to repay, then nobody is going to give you the fertilizer again, So, I am putting it in a manner that everybody can understand what is happening in the state. You look at the burden of debt on different government organizations. Forget about the government's consolidated fund, which is governed by the passing of budgets in the house, but even outside. Therefore, I'm sure with the whole exercise as per the mandate of the Constitution, the overall CAG report, which will be tabled over the years, will give you an insight into what exactly is happening. You read the CAG report of the last year, the preceding year. The last CAG report which was tabled in the August House. There are instances where some of the government departments are spending even without the sanction or without getting the money to be spent approved by the budget. Budgetary exercise is what? Budgetary exercise is the fulfillment of the responsibility of government. in as far as spending of the money from public exchequer is concerned, to get approval of every single penny that is required to be spent by the government from the public exchequer. Now the challenge here is that when I looked at some of these CAG reports, which reflected that some of the departments have went on spending without even getting the approval from the House pertaining to the expenditure in some instances of projects which were taken up. These are something which is alarming, and we must ask the government to correct them, and this is precisely what we will do. And at the same time, I must congratulate the people of the state. You know, over the years, how despite challenges and constraints, we have been able to show a steady growth. The biggest story that we can connect in as far as the state of Meghalaya and Northeast is concerned, I think the biggest story is the growth story of this region. And this is good for the nation, because earlier northeastern states were not in such a situation whereby they could demonstrate the sustainability in maintaining such growth. But today we have. So it is a question of setting a benchmark. We have set the benchmark, and that benchmark should be the something guiding light for the people who are in the affairs of governance. I will not comment on these things. You have to know what were the political dynamics at that point of time. You know, the sole intention of the people of Garo Hills was then, during the time of MP election, to ensure that the people are able to get rid of, or rather dislocate the continuity of the earlier regime. Okay? That was the sole intention. Come what may, let us prioritize this as number one priority. Replace the sitting MP. Replace the sitting MP belonging to a political party which is in government and which has failed to demonstrate their true commitment towards the welfare of the people. The lip service notwithstanding, but the actions were just opposite. So therefore, the result of the people, you could see the wave. The wave is a result of the whole in-depth, complications which is associated with politics, which revolves around, the resolve of the people to see that, okay, there must be a change. So it was a resolve to ensure a change after such a long time. You will remember, since 1977, irrespective of to which different political parties they contested, from the same family, they have been somehow getting elected, re-elected, again and again. So people wanted to put an end to that. That is the outcome. Okay. So I will not comment further. You have to read between the lines. Okay. Kind of ecosystem which is required to ensure that spaces are created both within the government and outside the government. You cannot depend only on the success stories of individuals. Those ambitious young men and women of the state. But you also have to show that, okay, simultaneously, this is what we can provide in the government sector, and this is the space we are creating outside the government sector. Depriving the people of having access to these job vacancies is something which I would like to condemn, and the government must do justice to fulfill the aspirations of the people based on the potentiality that the state has.
Coming to Garo Hills.
Now, we should be having GHDC election by last time we had in the month of April. So by next April, means April next year, we should be expecting the election if we are looking at the usual 5-year term. And you'll see how things unfold.
But we have the same parties. You have the Trinamool, Congress. Is there any thinking?
You will have to wait and see how political landscape unfolds.